everyone. Someone has said it right that your biography is not your destiny, but your decision are. So meet Mr. Karthik Raja, who has secured All India rank of 329 in the UPSC Civil Service examination this year. And I'm very happy to introduce as a Kingmaker students who was there as a PCM batch, and he cleared this exams in a very second attempt of prelims, but a very first mains and the first interview. So welcome Karthik for this journey. I just would like to ask you some questions on how your journey was and how you achieved this success. So please share your views.
Thank you so much for having me here, ma'am. Uh, my journey started with the initial spark about helping others, uh, particularly in terms of larger life purpose. What we can give to the society, it has always been my thought, and that initial spark has brought me here till this date with that beginner spirit. And every time each and every day, I've been dreaming of this UPSC dream, and finally it has got materialized, and I feel very surreal now.
Okay, so first of all, like a very few peoples are getting this kind of experiences. So do you think that you are lucky?
No, of course, certainly, I feel very blessed, and I feel very lucky to be sitting here. And this is my first experience of sharing a stage with you and also an interview. I feel very happy now.
Okay, so actually, when you came to me at that time, I was also very confident. And one thing more, like being a student of KingMakers IAS Academy, also I'm very happy that I was a mentor during this journey. So I still remember that how we gone through with all these steps of prelims and how you felt that time, whether this exam will be like a game changer in your life or this exam. But I'm very happy that this came as a very good experiences in your life. Um, but one more things we are sharing to all together, that is our optional subject. And you know that our common optional subject, my subject was also optional, was also sociology, and Karthik, your subject also was sociology. So let's have some discussion on the choosing of optional subject.
Sure.
First of all, I would like to know what should be the criteria to choose an optional subject in UPSC exam.
First of all, any optional, the very word optional means it is in your choice. Unlike the GS and essay, the optional is in the choice of the aspirants. They can choose. So optional, what we call it as viruppa padam, it has to be your own choice. First, உங்களுக்கு பிடிக்கணும். That is the most important criteria. Because first, since I'm coming from a sociological background, even before entering into UPSC, so sociology, why did I choose sociology is because I liked the syllabus first. So, and the liking is very, very important, ma'am, the choice. And the second is about predictability of the questions. That is very, very important because when you analyze the previous year question papers, in terms of sociology papers, you can see the predictability of the questions and the in a set pattern. And the third thing is about scoreability. Whether are you able to get more marks? Because in terms of the marks, GS marks and mains, for around 1,750, almost 500 marks is related to the sociology alone. I mean, the optional paper alone. So there is a larger amount of scope to score. Even if you miss it in the other papers, you can make it up in the optional. So you have to have an in-depth knowledge about it and the curiosity to know more and to apply it in all the other papers. For instance, how an optional paper can be helpful in the GS or the essay papers. So these are some of the criteria that you have to look into.
Okay, so as you mentioned that your optional is also, everyone has to choose optional on the basis of like how it helped in other subject as well. How it helped in your GS subject and your essay, and like with your experience, like now you can able to tell how and what marks you scored.
Yes, ma'am. In my optional, I got around 247. My mark in sociology, both the papers combined, it is around 247.
But I think your potential was like you know this year the average marks gone little less in sociology, but normally the optional marks in sociology will go even 280 to 300 plus. Now it's okay, but
Yes.
anyhow anybody can secure very good marks also in social.
Yes. Though this time in optional, the mark has come down, but the knowledge that I gained in the sociology as an optional, I was able to apply it in the other papers. For instance, in the essay, this time I was very excited to see the paper, particularly the part B section. When a candidate goes through all the four questions were related to society, sociology, and more of related to the process of socialization and how the society is, and the educational institutions and family. So you can apply all the sociological knowledge that you have got from your optional in essay paper. And more or less, sociology is like a philosophical study. It's also there. It is amoral. It is neutral. It is about questioning. So in that case, I was able to apply the sociological knowledge in answer writing in essay, and also in terms of ethics also we can get more amount of multidimensional perspective. So while we study sociology, we see it in multidimensional perspective. So we could apply those thinkers' knowledge in ethics also.
May I know any marks? Would you like to mention your marks in GS essay?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in essay I scored 113, ma'am, and in ethics I got 132.
Okay, excellent score. Because normally ethics papers, this much after crossing 100 itself is a very good score. So congratulations for this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you think that sociology is the best optional for coming exams if the students want to take as an optional sociology?
Yes, ma'am. Of course, ma'am. As I already said, any optional should be predictable in terms of the questions, and again the scoreability. And this time, when I went through the paper, I was very happy that I took your advice, what you gave before the exams, particularly the do's and don'ts, and the template that you gave me. Since you are also a sociological optional and topper, since you have been there in the exam hall, you know the pulse of the aspirant and also the pulse of the exam, what it demands. So when a person like me gets the mentorship of an aspirant who has cleared the exam, it is like you have got a magic bullet. So in that way, I applied all those do's and don'ts that you gave, starting with the introduction and the set template and highlighting the thinkers, and also coming up with the examples. For instance, the Indian examples, examples based on the international level. So these things I applied, ma'am, also with a conclusion touch. And most importantly, I still remember, ma'am, that what you insisted was about completing the paper and trying to link the papers. So that was something was like eye-opening, ma'am. Though this time the paper was a bit tough. It was a bit tough relatively. It was shocker to many of the sociology students. But still, these do's that you keep it in your mind when you do it in the exam hall, I think the results will come.
Okay. Many students have taken these decisions that it should also help in the prelims. So, like that kind of subject, they should choose as an optional. So, what is your opinion in this?
I have a different opinion, ma'am, because sometimes when you go into a subject, as I already said, in optional they test your UPSC tests your in-depth knowledge about any subject. Sometimes when you go in depth of the subject in prelims, it might be a counter thing to you. It might end up overthinking and getting into a negative marks also. But when it comes to understanding the concepts, for example, the polity and governance and how it came, for instance, historical background of the political setup, historical background of the economic system, as we have studied in the French Revolution and how the society has evolved. So when you have this historical background, you'll be able to understand the other subjects very easily. You will get an overall picture, multidimensional perspective. So in conceptual understanding, it will be very, very useful when it comes to prelims.
Okay. Tell me some experience on the day of interview. How was the question was related to your optional? What was that feeling? How it helped you in your interview as well?
Yes, ma'am. In my case, I was obviously expecting for a sociological question because my DAF had sociology in two places. So my questions was mostly based upon how you take a decision. So they gave me a situation-based question, and they asked me how you would react there. In that case, it was more about seeing from a overall perspective in an eagle's eye. So in that case, you need the interconnection between all the institutions of the society. So there you apply your sociological knowledge. And also they also asked me about the differences in the societal structure when compared to the northern states and the southern states. We have certain differences. For instance, I answered in terms of family based thing. So I still remember your class also. So joint family system, and why the ownership plays a major role in deciding whether it is polygamy or monogamy, and these were some of the questions that they asked me.
Okay, so I believe that sociology is a good optional because I was also not the background of sociology. I was a commerce student, but also I chose sociology as an optional. But do you think that the major role also played by the teacher who is teaching the optional?
Definitely, ma'am. Because sociology is a very tricky subject, ma'am. Because all the syllabus is about. I still remember that we do not have any separate lab for sociological study, though it is called as sociological science, the mother of all sciences. But still, we do not have any lab because the lab is nothing but the society itself. So in that
You
case,
cannot put anyone inside the lab
yes,
in sociological research.
yes, ma'am. So there is no controlled atmosphere. So it is all about unpredictability. But to understand the subject, it is very important that you love the subject. And since you have been there in the process for all through your exams, and also in as a mentor and as a teacher for sociology, the way you put the syllabus in the crisp points at last minute, ma'am, the one thing which I was able to trust was your PPTs that you gave me. And with particularly, for instance, when you study a thinker, for instance Karl Marx, we'll get what are the things that he has contributed to the sociological discipline. At the same time, we'll go for the criticism. It is who is nothing but Max Weber. And also we'll go for the counter criticism of Max Weber to the other thinker as well.
It's the same exact question was there this year. Like, how do you compare the Marx class with the Weber class, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I felt very happy looking at the question paper that whatever we discussed, and the PPT it's like so crisp with the flow chart, ma'am. That is very important, because when you put sociology in simple words, it reaches more. In most of the times, it also changes your behavior as well.
Simple question. Why Vijetha ma'am for sociology?
Ma'am, first
Or
thing,
in other sense, why me in sociology?
yes, ma'am. So sociology requires in-depth understanding, not just sociology but any subject. But sociology, only when who loves sociology can give it 100% to the people. So your love towards the subject and the thing that you have studied it for your exams, and that is the thing. And thinking it from the exam point of view, and thinking it from the aspirant side, in what way we can give. So I still remember at the end of each and every PPT, you used to give me questions and also anecdotes, and also the related proverbs, which I was able to use it in ethics as well. And before entering into any chapter, you used to give the flow charts in the PPT. That flow chart is like your mind map. For any question, what I actually mentioned as template, it is nothing but the flow chart. The flow chart is the template for any concept. So that was your USP.
See, now you are in, we are expecting IAS service for your rank. So, again, what changes you are going to make it, because you are a sociology student as well, also a sociology optional? How do you apply this to your service and later in your life?
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, I studied in a book where people see constitution is the supreme law of land. But the same constitution, when a sociology sees, he sees as an agent of social change.
Yes.
So anything which is associated with the power and the authority, where you are able to take decisions that could affect millions of people.
Okay.
So in that case, each and every decision is an agent of change. So we could apply each and every aspect, for instance, from education point of view, from family point of view, from religious institutions point of view, the role of NGOs, and the child labor issue, when we have social problems as a separate unit, ma'am. So each and every time I study the subject, I always wanted to bring some change in the field, particularly linking with the science and technological advancements. For instance, the manual scavenging is something that I would like to focus upon.
Being many acts are there, but in the ground, it's the reality is something different.
Yes, ma'am. We should give more importance to the frontline workers. That has always been on my head, because that incident has brought me till here.
See, many students are taking the coaching for GS by thinking UPSC prelims is so unpredictable, mains is so unpredictable, but they are not going for optional coaching. So, what is your call in this?
Ma'am, optional is very, very important, ma'am. As I already mentioned, the amount of contribution that could be given by the optional subject to your mains mark. When I analyzed my entire score, it is the mains that has helped me a lot. So it is because of the optional paper. The application of optional is very, very important, and your class got over just before the December itself.
Yes.
So optional. So
Yes.
at least by within 4 months of the prelims, you have to have completed your optionals. When completing the optional on time and also going for a multiple revision is very, very important, because as soon as you get the result, you should be able to revise it quickly, because after clearing prelims you cannot start reading any optional subject.
Correct.
So you have to choose your optional wisely, and at the same time you have to complete it on time, take the necessary notes and revision.
So the final questions, Mr. Karthik, I want to ask, because see, the coming students, what is your advice now? Shall they go for optional sociology? If yes, why? If not, why?
Ma'am, obviously yes, because that has brought me till now. So if I'm sharing this stage, it is because of the optional. Of course, it is because of the optional. Optional has played a crucial role in my entire journey. In fact, it has changed my attitude as well, where it got reflected in my interview.
Okay.
In fact, I mentioned this point in the interview that, sir, since I'm coming from a sociological background, I've been trained to see from multiple perspectives, and I came out with a smiling face. So, from your starting your journey, UPSC journey, till your completion of interview, and also this interview, sociology will be helpful. And after, as your questions mentioned, even after you get into the service, sociology will always be like your torchlight.
Okay. So thank you so much for your valuable time to share with me. And we are happy again that KingMakers IAS Academy has produced a very potential candidate who secured All India rank this year. And in future also, he is going to be uh, a very great bureaucrat and officer. So thank you, Karthik Raja.
Thank you. Thank you so much.